Well, hello. So today we're going to discuss the shocking news that Taran Killam, most notably known for playing Ted Cruz, and Jay Pharoah, most notably known for playing President Obama, will not be returning to the new season of Saturday Night Live. And why? These are some speculations as to why I think that they may not be returning. So, first and foremost, Taran Killam. I love Taran. I love everybody from Saturday Night Live. The problem is that with Taran Killam, off the top of my head, the only character that I have is Ted Cruz. I don't have any memorable character that I can say. Every single cast member has to have the one memorable character that can move on and star in their own show and be in their own movie. And if at least five characters that will for sure be that. In order to stay in Saturday Night Live, you have to have at least five ongoing, if not 10, ongoing characters that have already succeeded, that have already not just characters that you think of, characters skits that you have planted, moved forward, and said, oh, wow, they got a lot of laughs. So, like the Californians. The Californians is an amazing skit that can move on and to become its own movie. So, Taran Killam, I hate to say this, but Taran Killam did not have those characters, did not have the range that he has in those. Well, not necessarily. I don't necessarily think that it's. I don't. It's not the range. Taran Killam definitely has the range. Definitely has the range to even do drama and comedy and various different things. But perhaps it. I don't know how it works in whether it's Lorne, whether it's the other producers, whether it's the other writers. I don't know how it works, but and whether they were trying to wrangle up new viewers, and so they didn't feel like because back recently the new cast members are not as well known as Amy Poehler, Fred Armisen, Tina Fey, Jimmy Fallon, all those individuals that came out they came they're hosting their own shows and so Saturday Night Live is looking at these individuals that are coming forward and saying to themselves, do we have those people? Do we have a Tina Fey? Do we have a Fred Armisen? And off the top of my head, I don't know whether Saturday Night Live does. That's what troubles me is that I don't know. I mean, Leslie is the only individual. Leslie, Kate McKinnon are the two individuals off the top of my head that I can genuinely say that could hold down an entire show and hold down. Well, they're been cast in movies, so there's a certain level of understanding and people are rallying behind them. So those are, like I said before, the top of the ladder. Fred Armisen with Portlandia, Amy Poehler with Parks and Rec, Tina Fey with 30 Rock, and most recently the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And those are Jimmy Fallon with the Tonight Show. Seth, I forget his last name, but he Late Night with Seth. Yeah, he's got his late night show. So these are people that have moved on and have built franchises outside of Saturday Night Live, and ultimately that's what Lauren is looking for. Um, I think so. That's what I think ultimately Lauren is looking for people to come in and say, 100. You need to come in with 100 characters. You need to come literally with 100 characters a month, and out of those 100 characters, we start whittling them down to the top 10 that are going to be consistent. I mean, but these got to be things that you know that NBC will look and be like, I want to have a show out of this. That's what you want. You want people. You want networks rallying and hungry to make a show out of that skit and think, why didn't we think of this? That's what you want. In regards to spoofs, I think that it's a weird world because see, this has become a really. Oh, so Jay Pharoah. Let's talk about a little bit about Jay Pharoah. Poor Jay. Jay Pharoah. Again, he is. This falls to the same tragedy of Taran Killam, is that these are individuals who didn't have. He has the vice principal at a school. I forget what the name of the school is, but he was the attention teachers and students. Attention teachers and students. He's got that character. I don't know what his name is, but I don't know what the name of the character is. And so there just needed to be more. meatier characters, and there just wasn't. Um, Off the top of my head, the one individual who plays Riblet and Drunk Uncle, both of those characters are beloved by everyone. And so, and Leslie has become a rapidly beloved new cast member. Same with the tall, lanky guy who I just think is dreamy, and he's just amazing. He's just hilarious. I hope he stays. Like that's just what I mean. I forget his name, but there's something very wise and deep about this guy. So thank you, and I want to wish you all a wonderful year. Let me know what you think about the shakeup and what I just said about the Saturday Night Lives, and how it's not. It's like this is it's fun and games until someone gets cut. It's all fun and games until two people get cut. So, and one just side note for Lauren, I just want to say that if you've been there for a few seasons, and unless there's something really dramatic that needs to happen, they've got to do that whole like goodbye show. They've got, even if they let the person stay on for like the first episode of the first season, they've got to let them do that goodbye show because it's part of our life. They're part of our life for, and that goodbye show really means a lot to us as the fans, and it means a lot to people. And same, and Jay and Taran have become like our family members, so we love to see them off. So hopefully they do that, and because these kind of things are all out there, they're all in the news, and we're all aware of them. And I think it's you. There's two options. There's two choices you can make. You can make to sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, they were here. Okay, next. Or you can sit there and you can acknowledge it and say, they're no longer here, but this is the first episode, and we're gonna let them, do the opening monologue with the other person, and then have them be on a couple skits, and and at the end of the show, have them wave goodbye and be like, "Yeah, we're not in the show anymore, but thank you, Francesco, for throwing out the idea to Lauren to have us be on the first episode of the first season and have us be like." The stars of it. I think that would be a beautiful thing, especially because we're in a new internet area. Yeah, we're in a new internet area. This video has gone on way too long about how much I love Saturday Night Live. Thank you, and I hope that I look forward to one day Saturday Night Live contacting me and being like, "Okay, come in, check out what these are our ideas, sign this contract. What do you think? Is this going to work? Gotta push the envelope. Gotta always push the envelope. Brazil is murdering children, or was murdering children. Hasba Shalom. Hasba Shalom, by the way. Brazil, in order to have the Olympics, did some really horrible things. And nobody's talking about them. And, NBC is owned by SNL. And once the Olympics are gone, maybe can Saturday Night Live talk about it? Will NBC let Saturday Night Live talk about it? I think that NBC needs to understand that SNL is a staple of theirs. It's like the Statue of Liberty. You can't get rid of it. We've come to the point where you can't get rid of the Statue of Liberty. And so that's what Saturday Night Live means for humanity. Saturday Night Live is the Statue of Liberty of America in television. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful year. Take care.